something a bit different now, and after all these years we're going to try a two-handed video. Check this out, not one hand but two. Look, no wobble cam. This is something to behold. I don't think Coolsmartphone has ever done this before. And we're in the car, which is our traditional video studio, and this is the Honor 4X. Honor is sort of a brand name of Huawei or Huawei or however you want to pronounce it. So they've decided to go with the word Honor. It's spelt the American way here. So we've got H-O-N-O-R instead of H-O-N-O-U-R as it should be spelt. You can see, hopefully, if I've got the focus right, you can see the rear panel here and the effect it has on there. Sort of, it looks like almost like a wallpaper finish on the back of there. I'll show you also around the phone itself. So I'm going to pop open the back, and as you can see here, this is just a plain plastic rear section, and inside of there, this is great. Now I've got two hands, I can actually show you this. Inside of there, you see these buttons. There's a power button, and as I press it, you can see the little black piece of plastic is suspended by a little piece of kind of rubber that holds it in place, and that translates the button press to these little switches here. So that's volume down, volume up, and there's the power button. Inside we have a non-removable battery here, and you can see there's some instructions on how to forcibly reboot, so you don't have to pop the battery out. We've got two SIM card slots, and you can see here that they're both LTE compatible, 4G. We've got the micro SIM. I've only got one SIM in at the moment. Got a micro SD card as well. At the back, and I will double check this, but at the back we have a 13 megapixel camera. Yes, right. So a 13 megapixel camera, that is, around the back, with a flash. On the front here there is a 5 megapixel camera, and this screen here is a 5.5 inch HD. It's not full HD. I'll just get you the actual details here. If we go to About Phone, it's quite a little. You'll see here, by the way, the user interface is slightly different. It's got this MUI or EMUI, however you want to pronounce that, and it's quite nice actually. I do like the interface itself. So yeah, it's a 720 by 1280 screen, so it's HD, but it's not full HD. And I've got this EMUI version 3 on top this layer, this GUI. So as you can see here, we've got the 2 gig of RAM, and we've got an octa-core 1.2 gigahertz CPU. I have been using this for a few days as my main phone, which I always do with reviews. You can see here that the screen is a little bit plastic frontage here. It gets a bit of fingerprint, a fingerprint magnet on there. If I just click it all together properly, the design of it is quite nice. The 5.5 inch screen is a little too much to stretch your thumb across. You might be able to see that. It's a little bit too tricky, but the design of it overall is not too bad. We've got the external speaker here, got the micro USB for charging and for moving data around. Got the microphone there. You can see here there's a little lip, so to increase the holdability of the device. On the right hand side here, again, we've got this little sort of groove, this little lip here. Got the power button, I've got the volume down, volume up, and then on the top, the 3.5mm audio and an external, another microphone just for cancelling out any external noise when you're on a phone call. So yeah, the octa-core CPU, it is octa-core, which so there's 8 processors there, but I have known it with Gmail to kind of slow down a little, even with that octa-core processor. We've got Android 4.4.2, so that's KitKat on board, and in the specs that they gave me, it said that this will only support a micro SD card up to 32 gigs. I have got a 64 gig micro SD card, and you might be able to see that there. and it works quite well. So I think it can do more than 32 gigs. You can see here the whole interface here is slightly different to the normal Android interface. This extra bit that they've put on there, you can see here my notifications and the times that they came in. I quite like this actually. This is very nicely done. So I can see I took a screenshot at 12:08. I can see I've got an email at 13:37. I can remove them all by pressing that one button there, and it pops away. We've got a shortcuts screen here, so we can change the rotation. We can turn our Wi-Fi 4G mobile data on and off. Talking about mobile data, actually, while I'm here, if we go into, and forgive me if I struggle a little, this is I've only had this really for a couple of days, but the data, now considering the price, this is $149.99, this particular phone, SIM free, and you can put 2 SIM cards in it. Great. And here is a SIM card management screen, and again this is their own sort of design here, and you can see I've got one SIM card in there, and I've turned mobile data on. You can have one SIM card doing the data, another one doing your voice. You can set it up that way. The only issue I have seen is that on the main screen here, although I've got my giffgaff, again you might not be able to see this, but you can see on the top left there you've got giffgaff, but it still says emergency call in the middle for some strange reason. Not entirely sure why that is, but it does work very well. You can make phone calls, and the audio quality is good enough. We have got this data handling system, which I will get into in just a second. Let's go to settings here, and data traffic management. There it is. Now you can see how much data I've used today, which is great for the sort of people that want to buy phones like this. You're going to have a fixed tariff on your mobile data, let's say. So you can see your traffic use ranking, and that will come up, and you can see what apps are using the most amount of data. And then you can tell them here to turn off data when you're on mobile data and only use it on Wi-Fi, or the other way around if you're crazy enough to do that. And you can also switch around with your system apps, and you can go in and see exactly how much data they've used on Wi-Fi and on your 3G. So what I also wanted to show you, so you can restrict the amount of data that an app uses. But one thing that really kills your battery life, and if we talk about power, is the background processes. So when my screen is off, it's still got loads of apps running. So obviously we're using mobile data, we can restrict through that system there. But we can also restrict battery use. So I unlock my phone, I go into settings, here we go, back here, and I can go into power saving. And there's my power saving setting. You can see here, by the way, I haven't charged this, and it's been running since I believe 7 o'clock this morning. Perhaps before that, 6 AM I think I unplugged this, and we've still got 50% battery, which is really good. Normally with my LG G3 that I use, I have pretty much killed the battery by now. Now we can see in power intensive apps, Twitter is using 8 milliamps of battery, and you can see media storage and gallery as well is using a bit. Now I can go into Twitter and I can press that, and I can turn on or off the prompt that tells me that it's using too much power, and I can turn this off here, keep running after screen off. If I turn that off, then it will use less power, use less CPU time when the screen is off. So you know, if you want to check Twitter, you turn on the screen, maybe do a refresh, and it'll do that. To run in the background is going to use more data, and it's going to use more power. So I'm going to leave mine on right now, but you know, you can switch it either way, which is great. And you can force stop and do all the usual stuff, clear data here as well. It's a bit, you know, it's a bit geeky, but you know, it's good to see that you can do that even on a sort of budget level device like this. So I've got a number of apps here. I've got a couple which I've installed as well, but here is the themes option. I wanted to just show you this. So we've got themes screen here, and we can switch the way that the phone looks. Pretty standard stuff that you've seen before. So I've got that at the minute. I'll change it to this, apply that. It has a bit of a think. It changes the whole look of the phone. So the themes applied there, looks quite nice, I must admit. And you can see, hopefully, if I go back into themes, the theme icon itself has changed, but also you may notice that other parts of the phone have changed and the way it looks. Not so much in there. But what we also have is another system for changing the way this particular phone looks. By the way, that settings icon, look at that, slightly changed as well. And the music icon slightly changed, calendar and email, they're all slightly changed. But if we go into, let's go into general here, and we can go to wallpaper. We can do all our standard changes here, change the lock screen wallpaper. We can shake to change it, do a random change maybe. There's loads of options in here. You can change the font style, font size, change all the sounds, usual stuff. You can have a different ringtone for the first SIM card to the second SIM card. You can even have a karaoke effect, and as you can see here, you plug in your headset basically, or a speaker, and then you can have a bit of a karaoke stuff. You can change the DTS mode on or off, and there's loads of different options in here. But what I would like to show you when I can find it is the home screen style. Here is a standard screen style, and you might notice if you've got a Windows phone or know somebody that's got a Windows phone, or you've ever seen a Windows phone, that this is very familiar. So if we switch to simple, click apply, has a bit of a think, and look at that. So if you're buying this phone for maybe an elderly relative or somebody that really doesn't need to have that standard iPhone, Android style screen with all the apps listed in little rows, you've got this. It's a very easy to use interface. So maybe for somebody that doesn't need or want or use those additional options, this is great. And you can add in additional apps here. So maybe if the person that uses a phone wants to use eBay, you've got a little eBay button now. Nice chunky eBay button, brilliant. And you can switch back to the standard home very easily as well if you want to switch between. Perhaps there's a couple of you that use the phone, and when you click on others you get a very sort of familiar interface there. Big browser button, big fat download button, so I can click in download, get all the stuff I've downloaded, and it is very nice, easy to use interface, I must admit. You've got, by the way, I should mention these capacitive buttons down here, which you press and hold, and you can sort of hop around your recent apps. You can see how much space is free. You can flick up to clear all those apps. You can see how much memory you've created doing that. You can go into press and hold and go into Google Now, which is having a bit of a thing. As you can see here, this is an octa-core 1.2 gigahertz CPU. I'm having to wait a little bit here, so we'll skip that. So here you got the Google Now interface. So you could say, okay Google, take me to Coolsmartphone.com. And for some reason it's going to another site which actually uses Coolsmartphone.com in the details. As you can see here, it's changed the size of the browser and the font style as well, so it's nice and big and chunky. It operates quick enough, pages render perfectly well as you'd expect it. This is the standard Chrome browser here. The Chrome browser's installed up and switch back to standard home so that I can find my way around very quickly. And so some of the apps that we have installed here. Camera, obviously you've seen that. Now the camera, I'll show you that really quickly. Here you go. You can see my very dirty car seat that I need to clean. We can click on this and we can add several different effects. We can have Dawn, Childhood, Sweet, Original, loads of different effects we can put on the camera. There's stacks of them. We can have Vintage, Mono. Let's have a black and white photo, shall we? Or an illusion photo. Look at that, blurs it. All sorts of different options here. Now to the gallery and see some of the shots that we've taken there. Quickly hop back and have a look at some of those. And we can also go into menu here too. So you can go into panorama, HDR mode, the best photo, watermark, that's good, and watermark your photos. You've also got loads of settings here. If we go into the settings, resolution, GPS tag, you can mute the sort of snapping sound that you get where it saves the photos, the audio control. You can, sort of talk to it to say, take a photo. And you can activate a photo, say a selfie or something like that, just by saying a key phrase. You can capture smiles, you can track objects, you can press and hold the shutter button to either do a burst shot or to focus, depending on what you want it to do. and you can adjust the ISO, white balance, loads of other stuff. You can also change how the volume key actually interacts with the camera, whether it to be a shutter or whether you want to use it as your zoom. Now we've got photo, and we've also got a beauty mode, which kind of you can adjust when you're taking a selfie. It kind of blurs your face a bit, adds a bit of Photoshop. You can turn your flash on or off down here, and we've also got, let's have a look, it's come out there. We've also got, we can press that to flick the camera around to the front camera. So that's the camera itself, and works quite well. Other apps on here include all the Google stuff: Google Plus, Google Maps, Play Books, Drive, YouTube, Photos, etc. All the stuff you'd expect in a nice sort of folder. There is no extra app drawer. It's all on here. You've got your settings, you've got your normal browser as well as your Chrome browser. You've got videos, files, clock, phone manager, and voice search, searching around. And here in the tools, you've got a mirror, you've got your weather app, you've got a torch, which does exactly what it says on the tin, and sort of turns the flash on and off here, so you can use it as a torch. And apart from that, I must say there's some apps here which I'm not totally sure what they're there for. I think this is an early version of the software. All that is a look at the Honor 4X here on Coolsmartphone.com.